Good day everyone. Welcome to today's forum. I am Najma and I will be your moderator for this session. Before we dive into the crucial topic that we are going to discuss today, I will introduce you to my panels for today. So first, we have Ms. Fatiha and we have Ms. Shazwani, Mr. Rahaizat and also Mr. ETIQUETTE. Alright, as for today, we are going to discuss about common mistake etiquette that we often do in workplace. Alright, before we meet our panel, let's ask ourselves, what is workplace etiquette? Simply put, it is the unwritten code of professional conduct that governs how we interact with one another. And why is it so important? Because talent might get you the job, but respect and professionalism are what you keep there. Alright, to unpack this, we have four distinguished speakers here. And we will be starting with Mr. Rahaizat to share with us in round one, where we look at the specific mistakes people make. I will pass the floor first to Mr. Rahaizat and discuss how poor communication can impact the workplace. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Moderator Najma. It's a good question actually. Good morning everyone. Today I want to talk about a critical issue that can either build or break a workplace environment, which is poor communication. While we often focus on hard skills, the way we interact with our peers plays a massive role in our professional success and the overall company culture. First and foremost, one of the most glaring signs of poor communications in interrupting staff during conversation or meetings. When we cut someone off, we aren't just disrupting the flow of the meeting, we are actively signaling a lack of respect for their time, thoughts and expertise. It creates a defensive atmosphere where team members feel undervalued and hesitant to share their ideas, which ultimately kills innovation and collaboration. Secondly, poor communication also manifests in our written correspondence, specifically through using an over-casual tone in professional emails. While a friendly workplace is great, emojis, slang, or a lack of proper structure in emails can blur the lines of professionalism. It can make a person appear careless or unauthoritative, and worse, it can lead to costly misunderstandings with clients or management who expect a standard level of workplace etiquette. In conclusion, effective communication is about mutual respect and clarity. By practicing and active listening without interrupting and maintaining a professional tone in our written words, we can foster a more respectful, efficient, and cohesive working environment. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you to Mr. Rahaizat for highlighting the communication pitfalls. All right, everyone. It is definitely truly shows a lack of respect if we interrupting others while they are talking or discussing. As such, professional emails, definitely we need to use formal words and also how we are adjusting with the format and also with the sentence and so on. All right. Moving from daily communication to specific workspaces, meetings are another major area where professionalism can slip. All right. To tell us more about inappropriate behavior during meetings, let's welcome our second speaker, Ms. Wani. Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you, Najma, for that question. All right. I would like to talk about inappropriate behavior during meetings. First, coming late or leaving early without a strong justification is considered unprofessional. You know, when someone comes late, it can interrupt the discussion and distract other participants. Leaving early without Informing others can also show a lack of respect toward the meeting and the people involved. Therefore, everyone should be punctual and they must stay until the meeting ends unless there is an emergency. Another inappropriate behavior is attending meeting unprepared and not reviewing the agenda beforehand. Some participants join meeting without understanding the topic that will be discussed. As a result, they cannot contribute some useful ideas and may slow down the discussion. Preparing before a meeting is very important because it helps the meeting become more organized and productive. In addition, people should avoid using phone excessively or talking to others while someone is speaking. This behavior can disturb the meeting and make the speaker feel disrespected. In conclusion, good meeting etiquette is important to maintain professionalism and teamwork. By being punctual, prepared, and respectful, meeting can run more smoothly and effectively. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Wani. Coming late to meetings and also coming unprepared is definitely a no for us as a worker in a company. All right. But it also signals that you don't value others' time. So, next, etiquette isn't just about tasks, it's also about space and boundaries. For our third speaker, Mr. Ikwan, we would love to hear your insights on how disregarding personal and professional boundaries can create a toxic environment. All right, the floor is yours.
Thank you to our moderator and a very good day to everyone. Today, I want to talk about a very critical topic, the disregard for personal and professional boundaries in the workplace. The office is a place for work, but sometimes people forget where to draw the line. This causes discomfort and ruin the work environment. First, we have a habit of oversharing personal information. It is nice to be friendly, but you do not need a daily update on your family dramas, relationship problems, or financial struggles. Keep your private life private and keep it professional. Second, making uncomfortable joke and judging pupil appearance. Some people think they are just being funny, but offensive jokes are not jokes. They are rude. Same goes for comment like, "Wow, you look so tired today," or "Why are you wearing that?" We are here to work, not to be judged on how we look. Third, boundaries are also physical. Standing too close during a conversation is a major mistake. Everyone has a personal space or a comfort bubble. When you stand too close, the other person feels trapped and stop listening to you. Always maintain a respectful distance. Finally, discussing sensitive political issues. Politics is highly emotional and deeply personal. Bringing fierce political debate into the office serves not professional purpose. It only create tension, divide the team, and ruin a good work relationship. In conclusion, respecting boundaries is not about being cool or distant. It is about creating a safe and comfortable environment where everyone can do their best for work. Thank you, and back to you, moderator. Okay.
All right, thank you. to Mr. Ikhwan. That was a vital reminder.
Okay, oversharing insensitive political issues inside office and also invading personal space can easily make colleagues feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Finally, dressing for success. Alright, is a phrase we hear often, yet appearance mistakes are still rampant. Miss Fatihah, let us welcome you to talk about unprofessional appearance in the workplace. Alright, I pass to you.
Okay, thank you, Moderator Najma, for giving me a chance to express my opinion on this matter. So, as we can see, while the others have highlighted the pitfalls of communication, meeting behaviors, and personal boundaries, I want to address an issue that hit the eyes before a single word is even spoken, which is unprofessional appearance. How we present ourselves physically in the workplace is a direct reflection of our professionalism and respect for the organization. Yet, visual etiquette blunders remain incredibly common. So, for the first major mistake is failing to align with the company's dress code. Every organization has a culture, typically defined as a formal corporate casual or smart casual one. The mistake happens when employees treat these guidelines as mere suggestions. If the company policy requires business formal, these guidelines as mere suggestions. If the company policy requires business formal, for client meetings, showing up in a graphic t-shirt and sneakers doesn't just look sloppy, it actively damages the company's credibility. Secondly, we need to address the issue of showing too much skin. So, while everyone has the right to personal expression, the workplace requires a baseline of modesty to maintain focus and professionalism. Wearing clothes that are overly revealing, excessively tight, or better suit for a weekend beach trip breaks the professional boundaries. It shifts the focus away from your intellect and your capabilities onto your wardrobe choices. So finally, a trend that has aggressively crept into the modern workplace is being far too casual, sometimes to the extreme of wearing clothing that borders on pajamas. Okay, so thanks to the comfort of working from home, some employees have brought their own bedroom attire into the office, showing up in oversized sweatpants, wrinkled tracksuits, or literally looking like you just rolled out of bed, signals a massive lack of effort. It tells your peers and your managers that you simply don't care enough to prepare for the day. So remember, dressing for success isn't an outdated cliche. It's a foundational element of workplace etiquette. Your appearance is your silent introduction, so make sure it says the right things about you. Thank you.
Agree. Alright.
Okay.
Alright, thank you so much, Ms. Fatihah, for the sharing and also adhering to the company's dress code. It's about respecting the organization's identity. And extreme casualness can definitely dilute professionalism. Alright, everyone, we have successfully mapped out the mistakes from communication to clothing, right? Okay, but this brings us to an important issue, which is why is this happening, and also why do employees struggle so much to fit in with workplace etiquette today? Is it a lack of awareness, or is the nature of the workplace changing, and so on? Alright, let us hear the different perspectives from our speakers. Starting back with Mr. Rohaizat, who will look at it from the angle of our modern work models. Alright, let us hear from Mr. Rohaizat.
Thank you, Najma. To answer that very important question, one of the biggest reasons employees struggle with workplace etiquette today is that hybrid and remote work models have completely blurred traditional office norm. Before the shift to remote work, professional boundaries were very clear. The physical office space automatically demand a certain level of discipline from what we wore to how we behave in meeting rooms to the professional tone we used when speaking face to face. However, Working from home has merged our personal and professional life into the same space when you are sitting in your living room or bedroom all day. It is incredibly easy to slip into a relaxed mindset. This physical comfort often bleeds into our professional behavior. For instance, people might turn off their cameras during important meeting, dress to casually or respond to official message with shorthand text and emojis, and if they are chatting with a friend. Because we no longer have those physical office walls that remind us of standard workplace boundaries. The definition of professionalism has become vague. Employers are not necessarily trying to be rude, they are simply struggling to balance the informal nature of working from home with the formal expectation of their jobs. If we want to fix this, companies might redefine what etiquette means in this modern digital era. That's all for me. Thank you.
Absolutely agree.
All right, that was very excellent point, Mr. Raizai. Hybrid and remote work have indeed blurred the lines of office norms look like nowadays, right? Okay. Next, Miss Wani. How do you see the subjective nature of these rules playing a part? Okay.
Thank you again, Najma, for that question. Okay, I would like to talk about common sense rules in the workplace. Common sense rules are often considered objective, but not everyone thinks the same way. What may seem natural and obvious to one employee may appear unclear or confusing to another employee. This happens because people come from different backgrounds, experiences, and cultures. For example, some employees may think it is common sense to reply to messages professionally or arrive early to meetings. However, others may not realize the importance of these actions if the rules are not clearly explained. Because of this problem, misunderstandings can happen in the workplace. Therefore, employers should not assume that everyone has the same understanding of workplace behavior. Clear communication and proper guidelines are important to help employees know what is expected from them. At the same time, employees should also be willing to learn and adapt to the workplace culture. In conclusions, common sense is not always the same for everyone. Good communication and mutual understanding are important to create a positive and professional working environment. That's all for me. Thank you for having me today.
Alright. Thank you, Miss Wani. Absolutely. What is obvious common sense to one person might be completely vague to another. Okay, now let's look at the digital side of things. Mr. Equine, how do digital communication tools contribute to this struggle? Alright, let us hear from Mr. Equine.
Thank you, moderator. Today, I want to talk about a major challenge in modern office etiquette: the trap of digital communication. Tools like WhatsApp, Slack, and email are great, but they have one big flaw. They completely remove tone and context. When we speak face to face, our body language and tone voice help people to understand our truer meaning. But in a context, those things disappear. Because of this, misunderstanding become much more likely. A short email that say, "Fix this now," can sound angry or rude to the reader, even if the sender was just in a hurry. We often read We often read text using our own negative emotion. If we stress, we assume the message is aggressive. To avoid this mistake, digital etiquette is crucial. We must choose our word carefully, use polite emojis if allowed, and always clarify our context. In short, before you click send, remember that a screen cannot show you kindness. Be clear, be polite, and prevent unnecessary drama. Thank you.
Okay, spot on, Mr. Ikhwan. Definitely text messages and emails will remove the warmth of tone that we have naturally during our interaction in reality. And it can making it so easy for misunderstanding to happen. All right, right next, to conclude our insights on the struggles, let's welcome Ms. Fatiha to hear on the impact of cultural and generational gaps. Please, Ms. Fatiha.
Okay, thank you, Moderator Najma. And that's a really spot-on idea from everyone. And building on that idea of shifting environments, another massive reason employees struggle with etiquette today is that cultural and generational diversity introduce vastly different expectations. So today's workplace is beautifully diverse, often featuring up to four different generations working under one roof, from baby boomers to Gen Z. What one generation views as a strict rule of respect, another might see it as outdated bureaucracy. For instance, older generation might view a casual hey in an email or wearing a smart sneakers to the office as a lack of respect and professionalism. Meanwhile, for younger employers might view those exact same behavior as a modern, efficient, and more approachable gesture. So, furthermore, we are working in a globalized economy. Cultural backgrounds dictate how we perceive eye contact, personal spaces, and hierarchy. In some cultures, challenging a senior colleague openly in a meeting is seen as a healthy debate. In others, it is considered as a severe breach of etiquette and a sign of disrespect. When you mix these different generational mindsets and cultural backgrounds without clear communication, friction is inevitable. Employers are not necessarily trying to be rude. They are simply operating on the invisible rulebook they grew up with. To bridge this gap, organizations must stop assuming everyone is on the same page. We need to explicitly define our shared workplace culture while remaining empathetic to the diverse lenses our colleagues see through.
Yeah.
Thank you, and back to you, Madam Moderator.
All right. Thank you to Ms. Fatiha for her sharing previously. All right, everyone, navigating different generational expectations.
Indeed, a modern workplace problem and challenge. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of our forum. To summarize, workplace etiquette is not about being rigid or robotic. It is about cultivating self-awareness, empathy, and respect for those around us. All right, as our speakers beautifully analyzed, whether we are struggling with hybrid work or subjective boundaries or text-based communications, the core solution remains the same, which is open communication and mutual respect. Thank you so much to our wonderful panels today, and also to my audience who are listening to our forum today. We have Mr. Rohaizat, Mr. Ikhwan, Ms. Wani, and Ms. Fatiha today. And thank you to our audience. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you. Bye.